So we're en route to Manchester, final game of the season against Man City. You know, West Ham United are going to play a big part in who wins the Premier League. But as I've been saying for the last week or so, it's not just Man City and West Ham involved in this title. There's also Arsenal, who've got to beat Everton. And Sean Dyche, don't underestimate Sean Dyche and his team. You never know what might happen there, regardless of what happens between us and Manchester City.
Do you want some more Prosecco still?
It's been an up and down season. Wiggy has explained, you know, the kind of season that we've had. We thought it started off really well. We thought, oh, here we go. After the win in Prague, that we were going to push on. But season of two halves, really. The first half of the season, it's funny, we were talking with me, Wiggy and Paul about how up and down it's been and how lucky we've been in some games getting the results we did, you know, against the likes of Arsenal, Spurs, etc. But then we've been unlucky, haven't we?
How much we spent in Europe?
Say again?
How much we spent in Europe?
And we were trying to work out the cost of 3 years in Europe. I've worked it out to about 12 grand, but who knows?
I've denied it.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're only denying it because you don't want your missus to know. But it's been a good run, and who knows? Maybe we'll be back in it after next season. But a season out of Europe, can it be bad? Lopetegui starts. He's got a clean slate, hasn't he? He's not got the distraction, so to speak, of Europe. And we were talking about teams like Brighton, with De Zerbi going, and everyone over the last couple of years talking about Brighton, and that should be the model that West Ham United ought to sort of adopt. And yet Brighton did really well, got into Europe, and look how they faltered. And then, you know, we were casting an envious eye over Aston Villa, but they didn't make it through to the final of the Europa Conference. So winning a European trophy is not for everyone, is it? And I think maybe a season out of Europe might not be so bad. Lopetegui will have, I know, but hear me out. Lopetegui will have a season to bed in the players that he's going to bring in and drive forward. You know, he's only got the league and the domestic competitions to concern himself over. So,
what about my city breaks?
Your city breaks? What about them?
You know, where I go into Europe and stuff and get drunk.
Well, you can still do that, but with no football at the end of it. But look, we're going to miss Europe. But it's all about today. It's all about the last game of the season. It's all about going out there and putting a decent performance. David Moyes' very last game of the season, no doubt. Very last game for West Ham. Sorry, no doubt it's going to be the very last game for quite a few players. Don't know what the team is going to be, but probably Bonner will play again, and that'll be his last ever game for West Ham. You might see Creswell come on for a few minutes and one or two others, but we're going to lose a lot of players.
He touched me.
And he did touch, Cressy did touch Wiggy in Prague, and the lawsuit is about to kick off next month. So you're suing him for touching you, aren't you?
No.
Anyway, we'll do a show after the game, and you know, once the result is in. But it's quite surprising. Train from London, more Man City fans on the train than there are West Ham fans. What does that say? Anyway, see you all later.
We're going.
We are.
Okay, so we're on the 10:15 from London Euston up to Manchester.
10:16.
Precision is not your thing, still. And we're heading for the last game of the season, and we've had a discussion. And does anyone really want to see Declan Rice lift the trophy?
Well, he already has, hasn't he?
I don't want to, but that doesn't mean I want West Ham to lose. I want Everton to beat Arsenal at the same time as us beating Man City. We're having a quiet day today. We're not drinking much. We're just going to enjoy the day. It's the last game of the season, and Moyes is off. Happy days for some, not so much for others. I'm one of those. I think we need a change, and if we can see Moyes off with a win today, all well and good. If we don't, nobody will be surprised. Let's do it, boys. Let's have a crack, and then move on to pastures new.
Season highlight, Wiggy.
My season's highlight, I think you have to go right back to beating Brighton 4-0. Beginning of the season, sun was shining, and we thought, what a season we're going to have. It petered out. We went from winning in Prague, start of the next season, slightly disappointing 1-1 result at Bournemouth. When if it had gone on any longer, we might have lost. But then on to Chelsea, beat Chelsea, and we thought, hello, this is happening. Beat Brighton 4-0, and everybody thinks it's great. But then, just as we had with Sam Allardyce about in his last year, when Saka and what was the other fella that was up with Saka?
You mean Sacco, not Saka?
Yeah, Sacco and
when they scored in the...
Yeah, and then they brought Andy Carroll back, and the whole thing went pear-shaped. It's been a bit like that this season, where Moyes had the opportunity to go for it, and we could have, a couple of good results. We'd have Venezuelan. What was the Venezuelan guy's name?
His name slips me, but I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
But Moyes had the opportunity to push on and let us go for it, and he went back to the, defensive low block, and oh god, this side's good, and to lose 5-0 at Palace, to lose 5-0 at Chelsea, 5-2 at Palace, I'll correct myself. I was left by that point. 5-0 at Chelsea, 6-0 at home to Arsenal. You can review the whole season, but I think Moyes had an opportunity this season to push us on and took his foot off the pedal. But let's finish well. Let's win today. Hope that Everton do their job against Arsenal, and everyone will be happy. Cheers.